Hello everyone, this is Crota giving you a shoutcast between Nadagast and CowGoMoo here on Blistering Sands. Seems like every single replay today that I've casted is from Blistering Sands. Nadagast going hi hi, good luck, have fun. CowGoMoo also going hi, good luck, have fun. So they may know each other. I'm not as well. I don't know as many of the players in the StarCraft 2 community, so perhaps these are pretty big names and they're friendly with each other, and we should have a pretty interesting game nonetheless. This is going to be a Terran versus Terran matchup. This is going to be the first Terran versus Terran matchup I've casted in a little bit of time. Still, I did get some Protoss versus Zerg and Protoss versus Protoss and some Zerg versus Zerg replays in my inbox, but I haven't had time to really look at them yet. We have an early supply depot now coming in from Nadagast, so Nadagast not building that supply depot over by that choke point in order to try to save some of that time right there. Same thing with CowGoMoo. No, CowGoMoo most likely going to go with the barracks first. That looks like the strategy. Yeah, CowGoMoo going for a barracks first and now getting a refinery second. So CowGoMoo switching this up a little bit, and I'm really curious to see how exactly CowGoMoo wants to play this Terran versus Terran matchup. Also getting an additional supply depot, so that supply depot is in fact going to be very, very late, and there's going to be stopping any of this SCV production for a little while. And still not producing any supply depots. A little bit surprised by this. The barracks still not done yet, so we're still waiting for it. Perhaps CowGoMoo should have started building a supply depot and then started building what I would expect to be the orbital command when it is ready. Sitting on 270 minerals, is he going to go for a fast command center? No, not going for that fast command center. Now finally getting that supply depot, getting up to as many minerals as he possibly can as he builds that tech lab, and now getting that orbital command. So taking a look at the units right now, SCV Nadagast having 14 compared to 11. In comes a single SCV from Nadagast in order to do some scouting, and he's got to be a little bit curious on how he was able to get this orbital command center up and running so quickly. The barracks now completed over here, and probably getting that orbital command, so that orbital command center is going to be a little bit delayed. I would believe that this strategy is only effective against Terran, as you do not have to worry about a Zerg swarm or Zealots running around your base. Only one, maybe perhaps two Marines, and one or two Reapers should be enough to counter it. Reapers being trained, and Reapers, this is part of prior to the patch, only taking 30 build time in order to be produced, and now a single Reaper now moving out. So that single Reaper now trying to shoot down this SCV. Poor SCV is going to see better days as that Reaper with that double pistol attack quickly takes down that poor SCV there. Now a single Marine, all that's really left behind. Taking a look at the unit production, we have a single Marauder coming into play. The Marauder going to be used in order to try to counteract this. Reaper now jumping off into that high ground. Is he going to go after the Marine? No, going straight for that mineral line. Wants to take down and deal as much damage as he possibly can. Trying to take down an SCV. One SCV down, and now units now quickly getting moved away. Now trying to do a little bit of a hit and attack, able to take down that poor Marine, and now the Marauder trying to chase him, and that Reaper trying to desperately run away. Marauder may not be able to come in, but another Reaper coming in at full hit points going to come into this position and now start focusing down more SCVs once again. That Marauder, the SCV is now trying to come back and getting a surround off on that poor Reaper, and that two Reapers getting quickly taken down. Taking a look at the unit overlay right now, CowGoMoo now ahead in terms of SCV count, 16 compared to 14, and also still has a mule. So that a very, very nice play coming in from CowGoMoo, using a very, very unorthodox strategy, going for barracks first with refinery second. Barracks now, a secondary barracks now being built into play as more Reapers moving around that map, now trying to use that high ground and that Zelnaga tower in order to keep track of what's happening on the field. A single Marauder has with one single kill, and another Marauder sitting over here. That Marauder with 125 hit points and single armor pretty much makes it so that the Reaper is only dealing 6 damage a shot because of that dual pistol attack, and without the upgraded bonus modifier from that +5 versus light. We have a reactor core now coming in and lowering those supply depots for no other reason than making it easier for that SCV to come in and build that right there. We have a single Marauder on this high ramp over here. I do not see any starports, and I do not see any factories being built at this point. So CowGoMoo not going for a factory or starport. We have a single barracks with a reactor producing double Marines, so it's going to be Marines and Marauders versus Marines and Marauders. 21 SCVs versus 19. So, and taking a look at the army size right now, CowGoMoo sitting at 450 versus Nadagast's 800. But the Reapers are really the interesting part of this game. Reapers now moving out and going to be running into that poor Marauder. That's going to be a really unfortunate play by that Reaper. Single Reaper going to be making it into that base, and that Reaper perhaps will be able to focus down more units once again, perhaps try to take down more of these SCVs and take away some precious mining time, trying to take down some supply depots now, perhaps can get them into a negative supply right now, as that supply depot down to 194 hit points. Marines now quickly coming out, and that Reaper is going to have to be forced to once again pull back, as those Marines are going to be doing a little bit of a chase right here. Supply depot is not burning down, and that Reaper able to go ahead and jump back down off that cliff and move back around. Reaper now wants to check in on this front door, making sure that there is not in fact an expansion. Not going to find one, as the army size of Nadagast is fairly large. Gonna jump back up with this Reaper and perhaps try to take down some of these tech labs. No, that Reaper just running in here really sneakily, and gonna come back in and try to focus down some more SCVs, perhaps try to take down some of those units, and down goes that poor Reaper. So a couple Marauders able to take it down, and now a command center now being built. An army of Marauders and Marines with stim pack research. Do we have that combat shield? No combat shield, only Marines. And now CowGoMoo taking that 1200 army versus that 1100 army. And so the armies are pretty even at this point. Let's see, 27 SCVs, 11 Marines versus 7 Marines, 5 Marauders versus 6 Marauders. So this is a very even army. Let's see if they're going to be trying to take down these destructible rocks or trying to come in through that front door. Command center now being built by Nadagast. Nadagast wanting to try to take this, try to take his expansion as well. Both players sitting with a fairly sizable army, able to really push back any army. And wow, those Marines and those Marauders perhaps trying to just sit in this position and wait for a single file line of Marauders and Marines to come out. Nadagast smartly spreading some of his units all around the map in order to make sure that no Reapers are able to get into this base. More Marines now coming in, and now command center, a factory being produced, and Marines being double queued, and an SCV also finishing a supply depot on that back door, supply depot on this back door as well, in order to keep more scouting. As Marines and Marauders now coming in, and we'll see what that command center is going to do. Is that command center going to be lifted off and then moved into this position? No, going to be building an orbital command first. Little bit of a surprise by that. And those Marauders and those Marines now running all the way back home, as this command center going to be set up in position. Taking a look at the CowGoMoo's SCV count. SCVs are definitely saturated over here at this main base, so CowGoMoo can afford to transfer some SCVs to that north hand side without taking a large hit in terms of his mining. There is a single engineering bay and now a starport being produced. So that starport, in order to get that medevac and those Ravens, medevacs and those perhaps Vikings in order to counter those medevacs. A very large army spread across this whole entire position here, sitting on 7 Marauders and a single siege tank. Nadagast getting that single siege tank now, and perhaps wants to take this position and now try to defend his choke point. Taking a look at that siege tank not going to be sitting on that high ledge, but now going to be moving out. Nadagast looking fairly confident, but there is no stim packs on those Marauders, and I do not see we do have a single Viking, so medevac now being, more Vikings being produced. So Vikings being produced in order to try to counteract the medevacs, as opposed to creating medevacs of his own. I'm going to go ahead and take this a little slow point in the game to say stay tuned for part 2 and the conclusion of this replay between Nadagast and CowGoMoo here on Blistering Sands.